On one summer hot day, a lion in the forest started feeling hungry. He went hunting for food. Soon he spotted a rabbit roaming around alone. He thought to himself, such a small rabbit as this can't satisfy my hunger. Instead of catching the rabbit, the lion let it go. Just then a beautiful deer passed by, and the lion decided to hunt it down. So he ran behind the deer. Since he was so weak because of the hunger, he could not keep on with the deer's speed. Soon he was tired and could no longer chase the deer. He let it go. And then he went back looking for the rabbit to fill his stomach for some time, but the rabbit was gone. The lion was so sad and remained hungry for a long time. And so the moral lesson here says greed is never a good thing. We should be happy with whatever we get. And because he felt the rabbit was so small, he let it go and decided to chase the deer. Good morning to our listeners. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to the 15 political subdivision and to our followers in the diaspora. This is how we welcome you to another beautiful edition of today's paper. I am Liberia-VOL and I have here with me Miss Lorena Colette. This program comes your way every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as usual, we digest all of the information making news in the print media. And so that's it. If you are following our live on Facebook, you can please share the live, invite somebody to watch. Invite somebody to participate on today's paper. And today we have 4 local dailies. And in my hand, I have the Front Page Africa.
And I have the Women Voices newspaper.
Next year, I have the Analyst newspaper.
And the New Democrat newspaper.
And so let's keep the ball rolling with the Front Page Africa. The front page of the Front Page Africa reads, Volume 17, number 106 of today's edition, June 7, 2023. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. And the first headline on the front page of the Front Page Africa reads, Justice Minister, Solicitor General found. And here you see a photo of the Justice Minister that is in person of Musa Din. And you can see a photo of the judge. And they are also serious. They are very, very serious. They all have on court suit with colorful necktie and white long sleeve shirt. The next headline for the front page of the Front Page Africa reads, Much ado about UP pigs. It is written in red. And here you see Unity Party logo. It says one nation, one people. And you also see a photo of Abbott T. Chair, and that's the Senate Pro Temple. He's here in black coat with white long sleeves and a blue and black necktie. He's all frowned. What's the problem? For those of you following us live on Facebook, you can take a look at the front page of the Front Page Africa. Coming to the back, as usual, it talks about sports. So let's take a look at this story. It says, Justice Minister Solicitor General found. We would like to know what he is found for, because they are all serious on the photo that is in the paper here. And it reads, the Supreme Court of Liberia has imposed a fine of US $500 each on the Attorney General and Justice Minister of Liberia, Councillor Frank Musadin, and as well as the Solicitor General of Liberia, Councillor Tuan, for engaging in disrespectful acts towards the court. Coming down, it says, Chief Justice on Tuesday, June 6, 2023, mandated that the fine be paid within 72 hours and that the receipt for payment be submitted to the court's marshal's office. The Justice Minister then found himself in trouble with the Supreme Court when he failed to attend a contempt proceeding filed against him by the court for statements made against the judiciary when the government lost the US $1 million. $1 million drug case, and the refusal of the Supreme Court to place a prohibition on the enforcement of the ruling for criminal court scene. And that's our development from the Front Page Africa. You can buy the paper for $40 Liberian and get the rest of the story. Or better still, you log on to www.frontpageafricaonline.com. And now turn over to Lorena Colette for our next paper.
Okay, so the first paper from my end is the Women Voices newspaper, volume 12, number 30, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, June 7, 2023, and this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. On the front page of the Women Voices newspaper this morning, the big story here, we are losing a whole generation. Senator Snow wants just and teen-age pregnancy declared as national emergencies. And I can see Senator Snow posted here, smiley, dressed up, very serious on this paper this morning. And I also can see our disadvantaged young people who we consider as Zogos here on this paper. So this is the front page of the Women Voices newspaper this morning. And I also have on the front page of the Women Voices newspaper, Foreign Minister Kemenya represents Liberia in Turkey for an inauguration program. That's the front page of the Women Voices newspaper this morning. So if you are watching us, you can just look at the front page of the Women Voices newspaper this morning. Okay, so now we flip to the back page of the Women Voices newspaper. And the back page of the Women Voices newspaper here says Representative Mensah wants MOH MFDP account for Gunter Health Center funds. And I can see Representative Mensah dressed up in pure black dress, and she's seated in her chair with black hair tie with the flag of Liberia behind her. And I guess she's seated in her office, but she's very, very serious on this paper. And we also have the back page of this paper, the Women Voices, that says 15 judicial sacred court suffers setback as defendants escapes trial. And I can see the Temple of Justice here on the back page of the Women Voices newspaper. So let's take a little insight on this story. We are losing a whole generation. Senator Snow wants just and teenage pregnancy declared as national emergency. Bowman County Senator Edwin Snow has emphasized the need for just Kush to be declared as national emergency in Liberia, considering their rapid proliferation and effects on the lives of young Liberians. Bowman County Senator Edwin Snow has emphasized the need for just, commonly known as Kush, to be declared as national emergency in Liberia, considering their rapid proliferation and effects on the lives of young Liberians. Senator Snow, while elaborating in dismay during a radio interview early Tuesday, June 6, 2023, expressed disappointment in the situation to the fact that the matter is a serious emergency and there is a need that this issue be taken into serious consideration. So I can see this morning Senator Snow on this paper, he's really frying up, and this he's saying that the issue of just and teenage pregnancy in Liberia should be taken as a national emergency. So that is it, and I guess this story will be our talking point for today. Yeah, so back to you, Samira.
Continuing with the Analyst newspaper, it says volume 24, number 178 of today's edition, and that's Wednesday, June 7, 2023. And the first headline on the front page of of the analyst newspaper, is written in black. And it reads, I challenge anyone to produce evidence. What evidence is this person talking about? But let's look. It says pro tempo chair denies donating vehicles back to UP. And here you can see the Senate pro tem. He's wearing navy blue court suit with a pink and blue necktie. He's sitting in a position like he's propounding with his two hands over each other. And it looks like he's looking into a particular person he's talking to face, directly in the face. And the headline reads again, I challenge anyone to produce evidence. Pro tempo chair denies donating vehicles back to UP. And that is Unity Party. The next headline for the front page of the analyst newspaper is written in black. And it says, not for tax evasion. Row fund. I did nothing wrong. And that statement came from Musa Ability. And that's Musa Hassan Ability. He says, not for tax evasion, row fund. I did nothing wrong. Ability comments on Suez closure. And that's the oil and gas company. It was closed down yesterday by the LRA. Next year, we are still on the front page of the analyst newspaper. And I see the president of the Republic of Liberia in person of His Excellency Dr. George Manneh. He is sitting in a black chair with his white purple suit as usual, and he has on a very clear glasses. And it says, President Weah pays tribute to Sweden at 500 years. And the president says Liberia-Sudan relations will grow from strength to strength. For those of you watching, you can take a look at the front page of the analyst newspaper. So let's get to the back page and see what it has for us. It says, Fearless Family challenges Representative Abu Kamara to produce his deed. There's some land dispute going on with the Representative Abu Kamara and this Fairley family. Just yesterday, we read this same story, and it's like another one is up. Nevertheless, next we have the Internal Affairs Minister urges dialogue over violence and disruption of Asila Meta facilities. And let's go into the analyst newspaper and get a gist of one of the stories. And it reads, in the wake of the lack of the proper information surrounding the reason for the closure of his company. Yesterday, the chairman of the collaborating political parties, Mr. Musa Hassan Belede, has said the closure of his company's premise has nothing to do with the tax evasion, and his obligation to the road fund has been pleaded around by his detractors by a normal set routine by the Liberia Revenue Authority to do assessment on companies operating in the country, insisting that he did nothing wrong in the process. So the continuation of this story is on page 5. So let's go to page 5 and get a gist of it. Speaking through a podcast last night to respond to the closure of his company by LRA, which according to him came as a surprise to him. Chairman Belete, who said he is not personally involved in the day-to-day running of Suez, told his audience that he was informed about the closure of the company by the controller for owing the government of Liberia withholding and personal income tax in the term of USD is $116.5K. 165K, I'm sorry, it's 165K. Adding that the company will meet the LRA people tomorrow. That's today, Wednesday, June 7, 2023, to begin the process of settling the arrear. And that does it for the analyst newspaper. And as we speak right now, Mr. Musa Billiton, I'm sorry. Mr. Musa Billiton is now in a state where his company had been closed down. That's an oil and gas company. But let's turn over to Lorena Colette for our next paper.
Okay, so the last paper from my end is the New Democrat newspaper, volume 29, number 73. Today is Wednesday, June 7, 2023, and this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. The front page of this paper headlines, there are two headlines on the front page of the New Democrat newspaper. The first here says, Minister Dean blamed for Musu's death. Minister Dean blamed for Musu's death. That's the first headline on the New Democrat newspaper. And I can see the late Charlotte Musu here in her black, smiling, and caption behind her, we want justice for Charlotte Musu. So may her soul and the souls of all other faithful departed rest in perfect peace. I can also see Councillor Frank Musa Deem. Here behind him is a group of protesters. He's dressed up in black, white long sleeves. And so he's on the front page of the New Democrat newspaper this morning. Another headlines on the New Democrat newspaper this morning, Army worms invade Bon County again. Wow, another big story here. So Bon County, the Army worm take over, and I can see the army worms in the people crops, their farms, and so it's not easy. Bon County have suffered again another army worms. Oh, so sad for Bon County. So if you are watching us, I would like to show the front page the front page of the New Democrat newspaper. So quickly, let's get to the back page of the New Democrat newspaper. BMMC union leader, others employees flock. Wow, another big story. Wapolu commissioner released on bail after being accused of rape. So that's the back page of the New Democrat newspaper. So quickly, let's get a little gist of this story about Minister Dean blamed for Musu's death. Huge protests stormed the Capitol Hill demanding the Justice Minister, Councillor Frank Musa Dean, to ensure justice for the late Charlotte Musu, the daughter of the former Chief Justice Gloria Musu Scott, chanting anti-Minister Dean slogans. Early Monday morning, June 5, 2023, the protesters petitioned the lawmakers to declare vote of no confidence in the Liberia Justice Minister, Councillor Frank Musa Dame, and compelled him to relinquish his post. Okay, so that is it this morning from my end. Back to you.
And so that was our 4 local dailies for today. And shortly we will be going into our discussion for today. But I think Lorena has the paper there, the particular topic we are to discuss today. You can't read out the headline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the headline says, "We are losing a whole generation." Senator Snow wants drugs and teenage pregnancy declared as national emergencies. So that's the headline. It's from the Women Voices newspaper.
Okay, so let me just have it.
Yeah.
See what it's talking about. It says we are losing a whole generation. Senator Snow wants drugs and teenage pregnancy declared as national emergencies. But Lorena, first, before going into the discussion, I would like to ask, how do you see this? Because we got so many history about drugs and teenage pregnancy, and we will go back to, back in the days after the war, and then when Madame Ellie Johnson Sirleaf took over, she passed the rape law, and the government declared the rape law as a non-bailable law in Liberia. And since then, so we can see rape around, but
It's not
on the increase.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as soon as you hear rape, it calls everybody attention. Everyone, goes against rape. Everybody is against rape. Everybody, once they hear about rape, they come up in full numbers and things like that. But let's look at the drugs issue in our country. Later, we will call the phone lines after our discussion so that citizens can be able to give, their thoughts. But let's look at the issue of drugs in Liberia. Drugs have been on the increase. It have been going on. Few months ago, we saw mothers. They gathered at the ministry there, and they were, protesting against drugs, saying that their children are, spoiling, and we are seeing it nowadays.
Yes.
Drugs all over the country.
Taking over the country, even the schools.
Even in the schools. You will see, if you go to one of the campuses in town, you will see that this person is selling Benessy. But within the Benessy,
You find
you
something.
find drugs within it.
Even the
Even
kaya.
in the kaya, but let's just say the milk in it. Even in the milk in it, teenagers, they are going to school, taking these things. Probably this person is in 8th grade, and when they go to school, they buy candy, their friend introduce it to them. They will go ahead and then they will buy the candy, and then they will take it. And once they see how it reacted, like, all right, we need to think, oh, my man, we need to think twice, and stuff like that, they continue taking it. Drugs all over Liberia.
And it's really, really
It's
spoiling
all
our
over
young
here.
people.
It's spoiling our young people, most especially the one that is called Kush. Nowadays, you hear about the Kush. The Kush is very bad. Very, very, very much bad. Kush can even kill. That's how far we have gone. And now, Senator Snow is saying that he wants for drugs law to be declared as national emergency. First, I think there are some steps that's supposed to be taken first before we go to the national or emergency area. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
We are not saying it's bad, but I think there are a few steps that's supposed to be taken first. Because now we see children, they are spoiling children all on the streets. You see people, their children, their good children, they are spoiling nowadays because of drugs. It's getting real worse. But then, the legislature, I think the legislature should be blamed for this. Because the anti-drugs law have been with them since 2014. I'm talking about so many years.
Since 2014.
Since 2014.
Yes,
And if you are caught with drugs, it's non-bailable. Yeah, and the House of Representatives passed it in 2021, 2022, and it was sent to the House of Senate, this particular drugs law that we are talking about. Once this drug law is not non-bailable, I don't think we can stop drugs easily. Because the thing is, it's on an increase. It's not only the people you see in the street, the so-called, that they are the ones that are taking it. We have people who are in schools, we have mothers, young children. At times, your child may even be taking these things and you are not in the know about it. Because everybody go out. You go to school, you make new friends. And all of these things, it leads to it. And the young generation now, they are the future for tomorrow. We have our next president within this generation. Who knows? And if we don't stop these things, I don't think it's going to be good for Liberia. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good for Liberia. Certainly. And this drug law was sent to the Senate. The legislature, they agreed upon it. Let me just give a bit about this law. The legislature agreed upon the bill, and then they passed it, the drug law bill, the non-bailable bill. It was passed and it was sent to the Senate. But then the Senate said that they agree with it, but they cannot sign it so that the president can approve it because you have victims. For example, these people who are buying the drugs and taking the drugs, they are victims of it. So you cannot have victims being sent to prison for lifetime or a certain amount of years. No. They are saying that if you are caught pulling huge amount of drugs in the country, or you are caught with certain amount of drugs, that you are selling it, you are a dealer, you should be sent to prison, you should be in prison or in cell till the case is over. That's the non-bailable law. But we are still trending on the bailable law that says if this person is caught with drugs, a lawyer can come and then, sign in for them, and they will leave and they go about their normal business and the case will be going on. That's the bailable law. But the non-bailable law says if you are caught with drugs, you should be sent to prison, you be in cell. If it takes 7 or 8 years before the case can be resolved, you will be in that cell 7 or 8 years till the case can be resolved, and then you will get out. If it's settled, you will get out. If it's not, you will go to prison. That's the non-bailable law. But now, that law was passed by the House of Representatives, It was sent to the House of Senate so that they can confirm it for this law to be passed. But the Senate said that they cannot sign this law because they have victims. If you are saying in general that if you are caught with drugs, you'll be in cell till after the amount of time that they are to carry on your case before you be released, then they have problem with that. Because these people who are on the streets taking the drugs, they are victims. So you cannot carry them, you cannot see them with drugs, and then you carry them to a prison for them to be there for the case to be, talked about, or for you to go through the case. They are saying no. They are saying that these people who are on the streets, the so-called or the disadvantaged youth, or they are saying that if these people they are caught, they should be sent to a rehabilitation center so that they can be able to flush out the drugs. That is where it is right now. That is where we are at. And the two chambers constituted a conference meeting, a conference committee. They constituted a conference committee so that it can be discussed. But since then, they have not discussed it. And this thing that we are talking about, the House of Representatives, or they passed it in 2021, 2022, and it was sent to the House of Senate. But due to what I just explained, due to few, hitches about people who are in the streets taking the drugs, they are victims, so that they cannot be sent to prison. Due to that, the Senate hold on to it and said that they should have a conference and be able to settle it first before the law can be passed. And just yesterday, Mr. Darius Dillon, he had a press conference. The House of Representatives passed it already. It was passed by the House of Representatives and sent to the House of Senate for them to go through it and then sign it so that this law can be passed. This drug law, non-billable law can be passed. But then the House of Senate said that they are looking into it because you have people in the streets taking it. So you cannot just say people who are, if you see people with drugs, you should be able to send them, in cells till you handle the case. They are saying no. It should be people who are dealers,
bringing the drugs in the country.
Bringing the drugs into the country. It should be them. And yesterday, Mr. Darius Dillon held a press conference and he was informing Liberians that it is not President Weah who don't want to pass the drugs law. He said it's not President Weah. The law is still in the House of Senate. It's still in their hands. The legislature. It's still in the legislature hand. It was the legislative, the House of Representatives that passed the law, not the House of Senate. It was the House of Representatives that passed the law. It was sent to the House of Senate
to concur.
To concur, yes. So now, Mr. Dillon is saying that the legislature stay in hold of this particular drug law. But you can't going over what Mr. Dillon told the public yesterday.
So instead, the first statement here, I want to make this clear. I heard some people, including some media folks, blaming the executive mansion, especially the president, for not wanting to sign the drugs law. The president in this case has not refused to sign the drugs law because it is not before him. It is still before the legislature. Since November, we passed it. Senator Darius Dillon clarified allegation against President George Weah. So you see, so since November, this law has not reached the president's desk to sign. So if the president does not sign this law and it is not written into him bill, it will not be passed. Certainly it will not be passed. So the president have to sign it before this law be passed in the country.
And you see, people who don't know about these things, they will go ahead and say that President George Weah this and no, it's not the president. You don't want to carry on. Not known. The House of Representatives signed the drugs law. They passed it. Let's get this clear. I want for this to be very clear as possible, so that callers who will be putting in their calls can know what to say on this show. the House of Representatives passed the drug law and it was sent to the House of Senate. Now the House of Senate said, okay, but we are disagreeing with you guys, at some points. So we need to have a conference to be able to come to one understanding. And where this disagreement is coming from is...
Yeah, this is the place. The Liberian Senate categorized drug crime into two categories, making it non-billable and billable,
Okay.
depending on the gravity of the crime. Something the House disagreed with. So based on the Senate, the House of Senate has not concurred with this because they are saying that the gravity of the case,
Exactly.
the crime.
Yes.
So if it is not really agreed upon by these two houses, the president will not be able to sign. So the both houses needs to agree before this law be passed into hand bill. Yeah, so there were committees set up for this. We have few senators were selected. Senator Vani G. Sherman of Grand Kidbon County, Yombly Kanga Lawrence of Grand Bassa County, Austin Augustine Chia of Sano County, and Steve Zacco, and also Joseph Jala of Lofa County. These were people and other international partners were selected to form part of this committee in order to enact this instrument into law.
And the saddest thing is that the conference committee is yet to meet to take a singular action. That's the saddest thing. They have not yet hosted that meeting, and the House of Representatives passed that bill since. And if even they had some, points where they disagree, the meeting was to be held. Looking at the condition of our young people, seeing children in the streets. People might say if even they pass the drug law, what sense it's going to make? Drugs will be in the country more, but look at rape. Who knew that rape could come to these things? Once anybody hear about rape, they take it, personal. Everybody,
serious.
They take it serious. It was because the same rape non-billable law was passed by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yes,
and Mr. George Manuel is not refusing to sign this bill.
He's not refusing.
But to pass this bill, but then the bill has not yet reached its desk. It was not that Darius Dillon or clarified yesterday. And actually speaking, Lorena, this bill, the problem that the Senate has with, what the representatives sign, they should be able to come together, have this conference, so that they come to one understanding. Yes, I agree with it. You cannot see a victim of drugs, somebody in the street buying and selling drugs, and then you take them and say that, you carry them to prison, not prison, but in cell. So looking at the quality, I agree with that part. You have to look at the quality. But in so doing, people are spoiling on a daily basis.
Our young people, the future generation,
are spoiling on a daily basis. So, Mr. Snow, we are not saying that it shouldn't be declared as a national emergency, but first, the non-billable drug law got to be passed first before we go to that part. Because once this law is passed, I know very much that the issue of drugs is going to go down. Because I can give a very clear scenario about rape. Rape was on the increase during the war, before the war, rape. Like, you will see somebody that will be having something to do with this girl, will be undercover. But nowadays, people are uncovering these things, and a person touches
people
a female to
it.
some place, they go to the station, you expose it, and you see how the people of Liberia handle it. When it comes to rape, you see people protesting. It's because the first aspect was done. That's the aspect of the non-billable law. But if we are still going on the wrap of the billable law, there is going to be somehow difficult to be able to stop drugs, because once this law is passed, it's going to be nationwide and everybody is going
Going
to
to
be on
obey
the
it.
alert, about this drugs thing.
So currently in the country, we are using the public health law to prosecute drugs-related offenses.
Yes, and
Yeah, so based on that.
the House of Senate is saying drug, once you are caught with drug, once you are caught with it, it's non-bearable. But the House is saying drug is drug. Once you are caught with it, it's non-bearable. But the Senate says no. That is where they are. That is where they are presently. They are saying, the House is saying that once you are caught with drug is drug. Once you are caught with it, whatever penalty you have to bear, you bear it. But now the House of Senate is saying no. Why the House of Representatives signed it 2021, 2022 November, but now the Senate is saying no, that drug is not drug. Once you are caught with drug, you shouldn't bear any penalty. The penalty should come in due to the quality of it, because you have victims of drugs. So that's the discussion for today, looking at drugs in our country, or seeing how it's spoiling our future generation, it's spoiling children, it's spoiling good children, people who we're supposed to look up to for tomorrow. Drugs in this country is on an increase, and Senator Snow is saying that the drugs should be declared. He wants drugs to be declared as national
National
emergency.
emergency.
That's our discussion for today, looking at drugs. We are looking at drugs in the country. The effects, we are seeing the effects of the drugs all over. Drugs all over the country. It's all over.
And every time you hear about new of them coming
Yes.
on, and
So
I was just surprised to hear about this other drugs, the new drugs
it's
called
kush. Yeah,
you
kush.
know.
That one is very dangerous.
So every day they are creating different
So
drugs.
there's no time in our favor.
Yeah, so
We are about to open the phone lines. You can call us on 0770 907 907 0770 907 907 or 0880 907 907. Call us and participate on today's paper. Again, the numbers to call 0770 907 907.
So let's hear you. Who should we blame?
Yes.
13A. What can be done?
Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead, Ase. Mm. 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 Sure. Mm. False information, misleading information. Thank you. Let's take our next caller. Go ahead.
Hello, what is your name? Okay, let's hear you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for
Okay.
calling.
Thanks. Yeah, blessings. Good morning. Good morning. You are live. Go ahead, Prince.
No, he's
Okay, that person left the line. You see how people be carrying misleading information? The thing
the
is,
president has
things you don't know about, you don't touch it
no
till you get.
the
Okay.
actual information. Morning. What is your name? Where you calling from? Let's hear you. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling.
Thank you. So that
Yeah.
was the same thing I said
Yeah.
from the beginning of this
Mm-hmm.
conversation. The the House of Legislature, they are to blame because I think this conference that they are talking about, they're supposed to hold this conference already and see as if they can be able to
Okay.
come to one conclusion concerning this
It's
drug law.
just law.
Yeah,
But they are
so
not doing it.
yeah,
I see.
but I'm sure pretty sure that it will be done soon. Call us on 0770 0880 Call us. We are discussing drugs. And if you are just joining us, this is Voice of Liberia. You are listening to the program Today's Paper with Lorena Colette and Samira Online. Call us and tell us your take about drugs in the country. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You are live. Okay. Yes, you are live. Go ahead. Mm, mm, mm,
Hmm.
mm, mm. Oh, okay.
Okay.
We have the message now. The line keeps breaking. The line keeps breaking.
Yeah. Morning. What is your name? Where you calling from? Okay, Xavier. Welcome, and let's hear you.
Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Morning. Please dress on your radio. Hello? Welcome. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Good to have you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So that's it. We are talking about drugs. We will take two more colors. Good morning. Walk away from the noise, please. Go, go ahead. Yes, Prince, you just called, right? Your background is very noisy, so we can't take you. We can continue with you. So we will be taking our last caller and call it a
Is it
day.
two more?
Good morning. Good morning. You're live. Go ahead. So he should just go there and just go fit up out and just take it and say, yeah, they draw lawyer, you're politician. You won't get it. Other people add the no. You getting it. You will just so so the question is, should he allow the people to do their work? He should just go there and just wrap it. But the president cannot go there, as you are saying, and just go, tell them say you pass it. People will take it and start talking, say, oh, president, we actually rush there and tell them this, that, and this. So, okay, so Lorena, you said,
One more color.
okay.
Morning. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, Marvin, let's hear you quickly. Hmm.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Let's take the last call from our Lone Star line. Let's take the last call from our Lone Star line. Good morning. Good morning. Hmm. Okay, you're live. Hello. Okay. But anyway, let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
this is how we draw down the curtains on today's paper. It had been a good day. And we talked about drugs. Senator Snow said that we are losing a whole generation, and that he wants for drug law to be declared, for drugs to be declared as national emergencies. But just to clarify again, like Lorena, before going, like the caller said, one of the callers, he said that yesterday a journalist sat on the radio and said that the drug law is
In the
in
president's
the
office.
president's office and that it's on his desk, and he doesn't want to sign it. And he was giving text and saying that you know, it's good to listen to radio.
And other radio stations,
And
not
in
only
other radio
one
stations, not a particular. So people might say, all right, who FM is, you know, my radio station and it's the only radio station I can listen to. But to clarify things, at times you switch a button and turn it around to another radio station. And one of the things is that you don't talk things that you are not clear with. Things that you don't know about, you don't talk it.
No.
Not at all. Because the law had been in the legislature hand for a very long time, and people don't know. They are saying that it was in the president's desk. It was on the president's desk. I mean, not knowing that it had been with the legislature. And like I said previously, I believe that the legislature for this, because I think this law should have been signed and sent to the president's office. But anyway, it was a nice discussion.
Yeah, surely it was.
It was really, really a good one. But before going, my Matilda, Lorena, excuse me. Before going, Lorena, or give your party comments before we.
So I like to appreciate all of our callers. I like to appreciate you for the time. It was indeed a wonderful edition today. This issue about drugs in our country is really a big issue, and I like to advise our legislature to take this very serious, to pass this law in our country, not for us to be dependent on the health law of Liberia, but let's have our own just law that will put our young people out there who are sporting, that will have good future generation tomorrow. Who knows, these people who are in the ghettos around here, they are spoiling with drugs. They could be someone prominent in the society. They could be someone that the society or Liberia will depend on tomorrow. So if these people, we cannot do something about them now, it will be so terrible for the next generation that is coming. I'm afraid for my little kids who are just planning to have. Seriously. Yeah, so it's very serious. Not a joke. So thanks so kindly. It's a pleasure, and I hope to be here another time.
Okay. And so this is how we draw down the curtains of today's edition of today's paper. We talked about drugs. Drugs is on increase in this country. And just to clarify properly, there's another person that just joined this broadcast. And the law is not in president. We are office. It's still with the legislature. But we have 4 local dailies today. We had the Analyst newspaper, the Front Page Africa newspaper, the Women Voices newspaper, and the New Democrats newspaper. It was a wonderful time. My name is Liberia-VOL, and Lorena Colette, she's here also. And all thanks to our producer, that's the man Victor Johnson. He has been here carrying on our producing work. And he did a great job. Thanks to our callers, our viewers, our listeners. Thanks to all of you. Till we see you Friday, 10:05. I am Liberia-VOL. Bye-bye.